Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. We're going to talk this morning about creating a mindset shift between making money and creating money. So stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Grab your coffee. I got mine. And like and subscribe. I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee. And he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee. And I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible...
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Y'all know we started doing these on Mondays because some of us with the cycle and the rhythm, we just get so tired and sad on Monday because we don't want to go do something that we don't want to do. So I just thought that these Mondays would be great for us to do what I'm calling like a mindset shift, right? And so today, I want to just do a mindset shift. We're not going to talk a lot about techniques, but just a mindset shift. And we're going to shift our minds from the concept of making money to creating money. Real simple. I see some of you all in the chat. Good morning, Mom. Happy Monday. I see Brother Troy there. He says, peace, family. I see Sister Monica says, Assalamu alaikum and great Monday, family. Wa alaikum salam and same to you, sis. Okay. I see some of y'all up in the corner. Okay. A lot of y'all there, but not wanting to jump on the chat. But that's okay. I know it's early. Sometimes you don't want to interact with people in the morning, whether it's via chat or in person. So I get that 100%. I hope you all took some time to reflect on our conversation Saturday, where we talked about time and understanding how to evaluate our time, which ultimately will impact how we spend our time and allow us to collapse timelines and things like that. Because there's a lot of things that a lot of us are working on, and they take longer because of our mindset. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aurelia, Grand Rising, she said, from the land of enchantment. Praise be to Allah. So we talked about time. On Friday, I was being a little fussy about us and our behaviors, but I still stand by that. And I stand by it primarily. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was thinking about, and I'm not going to give you the whole thought process because, but I'll suffice it to say this, that for people like myself who have been in business most of my adult life, and I've been thinking about business most of my entire life, I am very keenly aware of certain barriers to entry, certain gateways that exist, especially in certain industries. I spent an amount of time I opened a business consulting firm in the entertainment industry in the 2000s. And one of the biggest barriers to entry that I personally faced, it was not my intellect, it wasn't my vibe or my look, but it was because I was unwilling to go through certain gateway channels that were either expected in the industry or just common practice. Because what happens is when you got a gateway, you got people who are requiring people behave a certain way. And then you got people who just behave in that way because they want to, because they undisciplined, because they just might be, ratchet themselves. And I didn't see the benefit of that. That I did not see the benefit of selling my soul for the hope that you're going to treat me right. I just didn't see it. And so for Black women in certain industries, and I can only speak for myself as a Black woman, those barriers are there. And I'm talking about if you wanted to make a lot of money. My mindset is always on the big money. I'm not talking about the $200 and $300 contracts or the small little things. I'm talking about where you can make hundreds of thousands and into the millions of dollars, there was always a gateway process there. And I was not as creative as I am, as good as I am when it comes to music and arts and entertainment. Um, it wasn't worth it to me. And so you get this environment of just exotic, ratchet behavior that almost everybody's practicing, and they think it's cool. I think it's cool to cut a deal in that way. But then you got the gatekeepers who are requiring that you conduct yourself a certain way. And then the behavior becomes so mainstream that even in order for people to consider you for a major contract, they kind of got to know if you're down or not. And I was never down. So I closed the business, went back into traditional business consulting. But I was one of the first persons to offer digital distribution back when people were still, selling CDs out of the trunk. I had a digital distribution deal with a company called IOTA. It later became, I think, Orchard Music. And I was telling artists, look, y'all, let's distribute digitally. Now that's the way we do it. But I was doing that before most people even talked about it. And it just kind of took on. I've gone to industry professionals and pitched a lot of deals. And they either got stolen. This is back when I didn't know that people stole your ideas. But I would look up and see my idea on television or something like that. Or just strategies and concepts that I've given to some major artists in the industry that has changed the trajectory of their careers, to be honest with you. But because I wasn't willing to sell my soul, I wasn't willing to do certain things, they kind of had to get away from me because I didn't have the right pedigree in that world, if you will. And I wasn't going to give myself that pedigree. And I started to see, just, you all know me, I'm extremely intuitive. I'm relatively psychic, and I could literally just see the ratchetness. And I would just pray, Master Farah Muhammad, you need to hurry up and throw these folks in the lake of fire, because we are mimicking a behavior that is so crazy and so out of control that it's going to be the death of us. And there would be some people that you would see speaking right, but I would get all kind of offers. But I just couldn't do it. And so years later, fast forward, I ended up going back into traditional consulting. It ended up being the right thing to do. I built a hospital and a lot of really amazing, massage envy clinics, and helping in a different way using my skills in business. But I'm still an artist. I'm always an artist. I've always been an artist. I've been an artist since I was a little girl, singing, playing the keyboards. That's just always been my thing. I'm a creative artist. You probably can tell by things that are always around me. There's always artistic or beautiful things. If you guys could see this room, there's paintings, there's flowers, there's sculptures. That's always been who I am. And that's how I approach when I'm working on projects. If you see the hospital, you'll see the artistry. You'll see the reflection of my artistry. You probably can see it sometimes if you ever are around me, and the way I dress and all of that stuff. So that's just who I am. They couldn't take that from me, but I was not about to sell my soul. And I'm so grateful that I did not do that. I'm so grateful to Allah for holding me steadfast. Because there was a lot of people, sometimes there's people that look like you. There's people who think like you. There's people who believe like you, who try to pull you into the soul selling business and and it can be tempting because you can get pretty broke. And so, and a lot of people aren't like me where they have other skill sets that they can go and do, and maybe this is all that they know to do. And then some people give up their artistry altogether. I had a couple artists that just walked away from the industry, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then here's the other side of it. It becomes difficult to trust people. So the natural way in which you could build up trust, you can't build it up in that industry, because even if you are a trustworthy person, that person that's selling souls and getting people to do all kind of exotic ratchet things, and I'm not talking about just one person, this is a systemic thing in that industry. That person can come along, and even if people feel like you good people, they're going to go with that because they probably got the big check. They probably got, nobody want to come be over here with you working hard and struggling and all of that when they can go over there and do one or two things and they think nobody's going to find out about it. I mean, that's just how it is. So I see a shift happening. I see a shift occurring where certain barriers to entry, not only into the entertainment industry, but into the business world, into the world of business, are starting to open for us, for those of us who have been locked out, blocked out. One of the reasons why I do this podcast, and I continue to do this, and I've been doing it since 2005. I promise you that if you went back and started listening to some of my podcasts, I've given you all everything that I learned. Why? Because I just felt like in that industry, or in any industry that I was in, especially business, the overall field of business, that most of our people wouldn't have access to this type of information. And then it became important to me because I started to see the mind shift that needed to take place. As I started to travel around the world, I started seeing the differences in mindset. And so I started to drill down and hone in on that so that we can be clearer. And Allah blessed me with a gift. Literally, I could talk to you about your business for 2 minutes, and I could get a sense of where your mind is and why you're not making the money that you're making. Whether it's no matter what you're doing, whatever sales industry you're in, whatever you're doing, oftentimes, excuse me, there are blockages there. Some of it is from your mind. Some of it is because you're attempting to do something that is not the best use of your time. Some of it is because you have competitors that are either blocking you or who have set up a system that you're striving your best to plug into, but that system doesn't work. So one of the mindset shifts that I want to talk about today is shifting from the concept in your mind of making money or getting money. These are things that we say oftentimes in our community, to creating money. Okay. It's aligning us up with more of a divine process. What do I mean by that? When you start talking about creativity, artistry, that's what most people come to mind, and they go, well, I'm not an artist and I got to get up and I got to go to this job. Well, but you're still using the creative process, whether you had to create a resume to go get that job, whether you had to create the application to go get that job, whether you got to get up every day and just create who you are to get up and just take that activity of the God into a space where you transfer time and energy for money. And I want you to start thinking about creating, okay? Creating money. Now, because what I'm really focused on trying to do is two things: get us away from thinking that the only way we can make money is that we have to sell our soul, whether it's sexually or whether it's criminally. A lot of us only think of those two options. We work a job, but then we scam, we hustle, we do all kind of ratchet stuff. You don't have to do that. We just have to unlock certain aspects of our mind so that we become more creative. Okay? Become more creative. And this is going to help you even on your job. I want you to think about creativity. Creativity, 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 creativity. Some of you all are sitting here going, man, I got a big event coming up in December. I need a certain amount of money. I know that everything that I make on my job has to go to my household. So how can I get some more money? Well, you don't want to have to go bend over in front of somebody or go steal it from somebody, but you can create your way into that. And I'm not going to get deep into techniques, but I want you to understand that the mindset shift is where I want you to focus. Okay. I don't want to start telling you what to do. Go knit some hats and go crochet and make some t-shirts. I'm not saying that. I want you to just think. Create the money you need. Why does creating work versus making or getting? See, when you say you got to make money or get money, that means that you're going to have to be a little bit lower in vibration, right? Because it means that you're already, with the concept of making money or getting money, you're already incorporating in your vibration the fact that number one, it's not there. And number two, there's something that is preventing you from getting it. Okay, let me say that again. When you say make money or get money, that phrase is incorporating a vibration that is working against you. So you go on all these podcasts, you go to my beautiful brother 19 Keys, and he's talking to you about making money. You go to Billy Carson and he's talking about making money. You go to all these beautiful brothers and they got these amazing words and you're like, man, but it's not working. Here's how you can unlock not only what I'm teaching, but what they're teaching, what anybody else, I'm not just singling out those two, but anybody else is teaching you. Here's how you can unlock it. You need to change your mindset from making money and getting money to creating money. You have to see money as your birthright. And when you see it in a creative sense, which I'm going to explain in a minute, you understand what I mean. So that when you're approaching these podcasts, when you're approaching these conferences you're going to, if you're going to Tony Robbins or Marshall Silver or any of these top people that you might be going to hear, you're able to approach it with a better mindset so that they're not telling you good stuff and then the next day you go right back into your low vibration. Why? Because now you're saying, I got to get money. I got to make it. You're already incorporating in your vibration that number one, it's not there. And number two, that somebody or something is preventing you from having it. You're already saying it's difficult. It's hard. But when you think about it, I don't care what you do for work. I don't care what you do on your job. I don't care what your business is. If you say, I'm going to create money for myself and my family, I'm going to create, what are you doing there? Creation has a different vibration. We've been talking about the power of vibration for years on this show. Creation has a different vibration. And creation, not only is it mimicking source energy, it's mimicking Allah and how he created himself out of triple darkness. It's mimicking what you see around you in the plants, in the trees, in the grass that grows. It's creation. So not only are you mimicking something that is natural to the universe when you think about creating, so that's a different vibrational shift right there, right? But you're also incorporating in that vibration that it's there for you, that you can do it. There's nothing that stops anything from creating. So there's nothing that can stop you from creating. When you get in the kitchen and you decide you want to create some eggs, some scrambled eggs, all you need is the ingredients, the eggs, the butter, the skillet. In the realm of creativity, you already got your ingredients. You may have to go get a few source materials. If you're a knitter or crocheter, you got to get your yarn, whatever it is. But the basis of what you're using to get what you want is what's already up in here inside of you. This is an aspect of why or how you can think of when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us, accept our own and be ourselves. See, when you're accepting and being yourself, you're unlocking those natural resources that exist inside of you. So when you unlock those natural resources and you say, oh, now I just have to create. So you can take any of your resources and just create. There's no barriers to entry to you creating from that which is what is already inside of you. You're not even thinking about the fact that there's something on the other side that might be preventing you from creating it. You just go to work creating. And you think like an artist and you say, let me see what I can create. Let me see what I can create. It's like, and I know this is a bad analogy, but I got to use it. You ever see, some of y'all might be too bougie and never been in this environment, but you ever see crackheads out on the street? And you know how they're doing whatever they can to create a way to get some money so they can get high. I'm talking about creativity. If they got to sing, if they got to dance, you see them inventing stuff. You see them, riding down the street. They might have stole a bicycle, got 2 more bicycles on top, and they damn near acrobats as they're going down here trying to get this money. Well, I'm not telling you to go and steal and do ratchet stuff, but what I'm showing you is just that creative spirit that can permeate any condition. So here they are in a condition of being addicted. Here they are being in a condition of being willing to do anything ratchet, anything. They don't care. But once they unlock their creativity, they come up with all kind of ways to make money to get that next fix. It's unlocking, okay, a natural resource within yourself. Okay. If you are made in the image and likeness of God, then every way in which God moves, you can move, which is going to help you to create the money that you need for yourself. Part of the problem why a lot of us are stuck financially is because we're constantly in that mode. Got to make money, got to get money, got to make it, got to get it, got to make it, got to get it. And so we're constantly practicing the wrong vibration. We're constantly practicing the vibration of, it's not here. I got to get it. It's hidden. I got to make it. I don't have it. We're constantly practicing that negative vibration. And it's very difficult to become wealthy as an entrepreneur if that's your mindset. If you got a job and all you got to do is just go and show up and sit there, that's different. But if you are an entrepreneur and that's your mindset, I guarantee you that you're stuck. I am 99% certain that you're stuck. You're going to be stuck unless you decide, let me go do something ratchet, or let me go steal something. Let me do something crooked. But more than likely, you're going to be stuck. And if you go that route, you're going to get stuck at some point anyway. So the idea, again, is to shift your mindset from making money to creating money. I guarantee you, when I meet with people, I always tell them, let me talk to you for an hour and I can find something within your natural resources that you can use to make money. I always refuse to be a part of any industry, anything that is so heavily regulated that it squashes my creativity. Because if I'm stuck trying to follow those rules, those laws, then it's going to impact my ability to be successful. I discovered this in the healthcare industry. And a lot of the regulations, they make sense. I'm not saying that it's so regulated that it's stuff that doesn't make sense, but there is some things that are kind of trivial. And so we had to find a way to be creative within that regulatory constraint so that we could make money. One of the creative ways that we did it was we had to lower our prices. So we couldn't look at what the industry was charging. We said, you know what? Let's lower it. We can reach more people. We can help more people. Then we said, okay, let's go to events, because we can't go one-on-one. We can't just wait for a phone call. We can't sit up here and cold call. Let's go to events. So I went and partnered with the Department on Aging. And so we started speaking to 40 and 50 people at a time, then 100 people at a time. We started doing health fairs for the insurance companies for free. Why? Because that exposed us to 100 people at a time. But we knew we can't just sit here and go one-on-one making $100. If you're just waiting on those little office visits, that's just $150. No, we need to get to the people who really need help. And then once they came to us, we said, how do we really offer help? Because what we want is these people who see this person to go, man, I thought they were circling the drain. I thought they was about to die, but those people helped you. And so we were able to help thousands of people. We saved over 30,000 lives and limbs from being creative. And we had to look at the rules and we had to say, okay, what can I do? We can do health fairs. We can help people. There's nothing that says, there might be an industry standard that says after a person's third opinion, they have to be amputated. But for us, we said, no, we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep trying to save their limbs. We're not going to just amputate you just because you went to 2 other places and they said that there was no hope for you. So we would analyze and pay attention. And we would sit down with a person's stats and their data and say, okay, what medication are they on? What's the blood pressure? What's this? What's that? And we started to really analyze cause and effect and figure out how we could help people just by having a little bit more of a creative approach. I was talking to a gentleman the other day who sells real estate and insurance. He booked a session with me and gave me permission to use this as an example. He was stuck. He said, I'm out here, I'm pounding the pavement. But I think he said he only made maybe $60,000 last year. And he says, and I don't want to keep going like this. We started analyzing his skills, his skill set, what his approach was, how he was doing, found a way where he could expose himself to more people. He ended up getting a $200,000 contract with a company just from taking the chance on being creative. And we didn't violate any of the regulatory rules that he was dealing with. So it's creativity. You got to shift your mind from making money to creating money. What can you create to help bring more resources into your space? What can you create? It may not be along the same industry lines. Here's another thing. A lot of us are locked because we've bought into this concept of industry. So we think, okay, I majored in finance, so I got to be in the finance industry. I'm a doctor, so the only thing I could do is practice on a clinical basis. But there's other things that you can do that are either not industry related or that are within the industry that just might be a little bit less traditional. You can go into wellness. You know, if you could go into products, what can you invent? You can go into training and consulting. So being creative. See, when you start focus on being creative, here's the other thing. You'll stop competing. One thing that I am so grateful for, I broke myself of that colonizer's habit of competing. I don't care what you think. I don't care. And I'm not in your business and I don't want you in mine. I'm only going to be in your business to the extent to help you. And then if you share something with me, I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to say, all right, let's do it. Let's figure out how we can help you, how we can get you over this hump. You see? But when we get into this creative mode, we'll stop competing. We'll stop worrying about what somebody else thinks. We'll stop worrying about what somebody else is doing. We'll stop opting for ratchet behavior as a way to cope for the fact that we're not doing well because we're thinking about making money and we're constantly thinking about going up against a system that ain't even really real. So what are we creating? And so a lot of us aren't used to being creative. A lot of us aren't artistic. I'm blessed to be an artist as well as a business person. So I can usually think out of the box relatively easily. I know how to tap into my creative natural resources and dig myself up out of a hole or expand what I already have. I already know how to do that. But a lot of us don't know how to do that. And so I won't be doing a lot of coaching coming up here soon. I mentioned that to you guys because once I get busy with the museum, which is going to happen in the next couple months, I don't see myself being able to do a lot of one-on-one coaching. But right now, if you want to book me, I can help you figure out how to tap into your creativity. The problem with most of us is that we just have buried our creativity so deeply that those energy fields are not even open for us. And it's a problem, and it creates a problem all across the board for us. You know why? Because we can't think. Being strategic is thinking creatively. So we can't think creatively. It's not about just artists and creating anything. It's and drawing and colors. It's oftentimes about how we think. We can't think outside the box. We can't think of what to do because we are filled with so much anxiety, or we're so caught up chasing a rabbit that we ain't gonna never be able to chase. A lot of these industries love to get you caught up in a process where you're only going to make a couple $1,000s. They love that because now you're doing their bid and they don't really have to pay you. And you're going to give them all of you, and they're going to give you a couple of dollars. They love that. I can teach you how to break up out of that, how to find a different way to do things, another way to do things. And it's going to require that you make some changes within yourself. It might be painful, but it's going to be worth it because you'll be free, you'll be creative, and you'll always be able to get the resources that you need, because you'll know what natural resource within yourself you need to activate in order to attract resources outside of yourself that are going to flow through you. We talk about mindset shift. It's time. Okay, we're living in a day and time where right now it is time. I wrote an op-ed when President Obama first became president, when Barack Obama first became president. He was Senator Barack Obama at the time. And I talked about the acceleration of time. And I started seeing time accelerate, and it accelerated to the point where we are today. And so the gatekeepers that have made us think it's okay to be ratchet and to be weird and nasty and odd are being exposed, so that you can start to see you don't have to do that. That ain't cute. What happens, it just trickles down to us. And then here we are, we ain't getting nothing for acting like that. At least those people at that level acting ratchet, and they getting some resources for themselves. We just out here and we think in our mind, this is my private little thing that I do. This is how I roll. It's impacting you. The timelines have accelerated. And this is the day and time where that behavior will no longer be rewarded. And if it is rewarded, what you're going to see is this shift. So the people that are conducting themselves in a certain way are going to have massive rewards. And I'm not just talking about this type of sexual behavior. I'm talking about thinking, mindset. If you're seeing yourself stuck, hitting a brick wall, it's a mindset issue. And you're not being creative. You're not being creative. Why? Because you're so stressed out that you're spending all your time, all your timeline. You're probably spending 80 to 90% of your timeline doing the wrong thing or focusing on the wrong mindset. And then you got a little 10% where you say to yourself, man, I know I need to be more creative. It's just math. I don't have to guess. It's math. If you're spending the majority of your time doing the wrong thing, you're not attracting the resources to yourself. If you spend the majority of the time doing the right thing, then you're going to attract those resources. So all we're doing today is a quick mind shift, shifting from the thought of making money to creating money. And that creative process is a different vibration. It's a vibration that lines up, okay, with the creator of the universe and the process in which he went about creating himself. You're lining up with that. You're lining up with how the leaves and the trees and everything comes into being. You're lining up with that vibrationally. When you're saying make money, get money, you're literally saying that the person that got the money is who you know you need to comply with in order to have it. You're also saying in that vibration that it's not here. You're also saying and creating a vibration that says, I got to go through something in order to get it. When you are thinking about creating money, you're saying, I got to grow through something in order for it to flow through me. So now you're talking about growing and flowing, growing and flowing. See, part of our problem, and I've been there, so this is how I know, we're not growing and flowing. See, when we bring our corporate mindset over into our businesses, it's not a grow and flow mindset. or when we set our businesses up, okay, using the same principles that are used in the corporate world, we're just owning a job. We get up, we got 8 hours a day, we on the phone, we making emails, we filling out forms, we seeing patients or seeing clients or whatever we're doing. We're just like we're working a job, but it's just that maybe with 1099, or maybe we got small little ways in which we're making money, but we don't have a growing and flowing mindset. I tell all of the healthcare professionals that I work with, if your practice today, and I would say this to anybody that has a practice, whether you're a lawyer, in finance, whatever, if your practice today looks the same and you're doing the same thing in 2024 that you was doing at this time of the year in 2023, you're not growing and flowing. And it's okay. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. See, it's no different than if you were abused as a child. You were abused probably as a business professional. You've been abused. Why you've been abused? Because information has been withheld from you. You've been encouraged to become a part of a process that's not going to really benefit you very well. You got dreams and aspirations of making millions, but you're really not part of a process that's even going to allow you to make millions. You stuck up in whatever the big box system, the hospital, the bank, the financial services, whatever system they've set up, you stuck there. So even though they're giving you the illusion that you can do this or that, you're not really ever going to be able to do it. That's abuse. Okay. So even if you were abused, it's not your fault. But now as an adult, it's your responsibility to heal and transform. So it's not your fault. It's your responsibility now. So let go. It ain't your fault. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Sit down with somebody that you feel comfortable with, that's going to say, hey, come on, let me help you get creative. Let me help you come up with something different, and get yourself into an environment that is supporting your growth and your flow. That's going to put you in a growing and flowing energy space. Not one where you like, I got to make money. I got to get money. Oh my God, I'm stressing. I don't know what to do. Okay, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I gotta make these phone calls. I got to see these patients. I got to see these clients. All of that. That's not a growing and flowing mindset. If you're doing that, stop it right now. Just stop, pull back. Even if I'm going to tell you, let me tell you what I did. I've caught myself in that. I became aware of this concept probably like in the about 2008 or 9, when I think my dad had just passed, and I was really thinking about living up to an expectation that I knew he had for me. And so I started thinking about, I got to think outside the box. So I started blogging and stuff about thinking outside the box and just getting into these mindset shifts, because I always been an A student. I'm smart as hell. I can figure out just about any technique or concept. I knew that wasn't a problem. So I knew it had to be a mindset problem. And so I went to work on my mind. I went to work on reconciling my mind and heart. And I was getting certifications. I got so many certificates, and I got my degrees, but I knew that wasn't the problem. I take those certificates, those master's level certificates, just so I could learn a particular thing, and then I'm on to the next. But I started digging into mindset, and what I realized was that I was on a hamster wheel. I was in the consulting field. I was getting up, stressing out. I was traveling, 3 days in Chicago, 3 days wherever they wanted me. 1-day travel, or sometimes 4 and 3, or sometimes 7 days, and then home on the weekend. I mean, it was a rat race that I was dealing with. And then as a project was ending, I'm prepping for the next one, right? I'm either prepping for the next one. So at one point, I just had to say, you know what? I'm going to stop. Let's just stop the world. And I started to, number one, deal with the fact that I was different in an industry where everybody looked the same. And I had to come to terms with that. And then I think I took like a week off. And I said, whatever I don't make during this week, I'm not going to make it, because I'm going to take a minute to tweak my mindset. I went, hung out with my friends, went to dinner. I sat by the lake. I just started doing things that shifted me. And as I began to feel the shift, ideas started to come to me. Ways in which I could do things started to come to me. I started to flow differently. And so by the time I went back, then the flow was there. And I wasn't afraid to be creative, because I was tapped into the power of the creativity, because I saw how well it worked. Let me see. I see a bunch of y'all. I see the chat moving. Let me see. Let me go up here. Okay, let's see. We spoke to Sister Monica, Brother Troy. We spoke to Mom. Okay. Sister Aurelia says straight words, no matter whom or what, on Friday. I know. That's real. Let's see. Sister also said, the industry is known for theft of ideas. Selling of the soul and body is real in entertainer. Ms. Louis Farrakhan speaks about it often in lectures. Yeah, very true. I've heard him speak of it many, many, many times. I've experienced it, and I've seen so many people that have experienced it. Sister also said, your clothing is your art. You are a walking canvas and will create money. I bear witness. Praise be to Allah. Creativity will attract money, unlocking the natural resources. Okay. Creative. You have to be creative. If you are caught in robotic mode, if you feel like you are in a routine and you tapped into robot mode, trust me, the byproduct of that on the other side is going to be a decrease in your income. It's just human nature. And the beautiful thing now is that now that gatekeepers are being exposed in every industry, okay, it's been happening in financial services. The gatekeepers have been exposed, okay? And as long as that flow of energy is happening throughout the universe, then guess what? Creativity is what will win. Walaikum salam, Sister Alita. She said Monday morning blessings. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Sister Aurelia. Lots of comments, sis. Thank you. Sister, my niece Amira is here. She says, good morning. Loving this message surrounding abundance mindset versus lack mindset. Sign me up for coaching, Auntie. All right, you know I got you, sis. We got to spend some time. Sister Betty, growing and flowing. Yes, that's exactly right. It's about growing and flowing, and that has to stay in the back of your mindset. I don't care how busy you get. I don't care what you got to do. Am I growing and flowing? Am I growing and flowing? And part of that growth and flow is we have to get rid of things in our life that we're doing that we know ain't right. See, the thing is, this is why I say collapsing timelines. Part of what's slowing you down and lengthening your timeline is your access and tapping into stuff that you know ain't right. Whether it's in your mind, whether it's stuff that you're doing on the side, on the low, something that maybe you do once a month, maybe once a quarter, but whatever it is that you're doing that you know deep down inside is not right, that is what is lengthening your timeline. It used to be, we lived in a different time frame. It used to be that people could go and do stuff in the dark and then come back and be extremely successful. But Allah now is collapsing all of that. He's exposing it. Remember, Master Muhammad has done thrown these people in a lake of fire. So their skirts are hanging, their slip is showing. Allah is not rewarding that anymore. So our success, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, is in our morality. And morality has to be all the way down to that small, tiny grain of a mustard seed. Yeah, it's faith the size of a mustard seed, but it's the granular levels of morality that we have to be thinking about and practicing. It's like a currency. And you practice it, and then you see something come and you go, whoa, okay. I guarantee you, you take a day. And when I talked yesterday about learning how to collapse time and those 4 elements of evaluating time based on Surah 103 of the Holy Quran, promise you, if you practice that today, you will find that something that you've been looking for is going to start flowing through you, and you're going to be growing on the inside. Not because I said it, but because Allah said it. I'm just a reminder. I'm just a vessel. All right. So mindset shift. Okay. Creating money instead of making money. Creating money instead of getting money. Growing and flowing. Growing and flowing. That's how I want you to approach your job today. That's how I want you to approach your business today. That's how I want you to approach it. Don't do anything that is not helping you to grow and flow. And if you have to do things that you know are part of the old mindset, do it with the mentality that you're going to grow and flow through this. Okay, I could go on and on. I pray you all get this concept and start practicing this mindset shift. Go back to Saturday so that you understand at the end of the day tonight, when you're laying in the bed or when you're eating dinner and you say, how was my day? Or your significant other or friend or cousin or somebody, husband, wife says, how was your day? I want you to think about how you evaluate the success of your day. It's not, oh, I made 32 phone calls. I seen 110 patients. Go back to Saturday's show. And I gave you the 4 ways in which you have to figure out how to evaluate your day. That's going to help you know if you're growing and flowing. If you got puffed up today and you're like, hey, I'm ready, I got it, and I usually make 30 phone calls a day. Today, I'm about to make 50. I'm on it. I usually teach 20 students. I'm teaching 100 today. That's good. You want that additional momentum. But the question becomes, how do you grow and flow? And how does your day stack up against those 4 elements of time? Because Allah said, by the time man is at loss, except, and I'm going to let y'all go look up the except. Go to Surah 103, the except, and there are 4 things that he lists that have to be the foundation of our thinking, or else we are losing time. We are lengthening our timeline. How do we collapse timeline? He gave it to us. The themes, 4 themes. And so those themes have to be you have to figure out how to weave those 4 themes into your business and into your day-to-day mindset. And at the end of the day, evaluate yourself based upon those 4 exceptions. He said, by the time man is at loss of what? And loss, why in conjunction with time? Because we're losing time. We're lengthening our timeline. We're wasting time. It's taking you a long time to make a little amount of money. Some of us are busting our butts to make $50,000, $60,000 a year. We got to work on that. We got to do better. We got to collapse timeline. We got to buy buy ourselves some momentum. All right, family. Love you all very much. Make sure you support. If you're getting anything out of this, please give a love offering. Go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises. Stay close. We've got some amazing announcements coming up. I got some products. I got a couple new products coming out. And we got some announcements about Sajdah House, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. So stay close. Like I said, if you want to book me for a session, it's best to do it in the next month, because outside of that, I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be able to even do one-on-one sessions anymore. I'm going to be shifting more into public speaking and larger events, just because of the timeline that I'm collapsing. All right. May Allah bless you. I'm wishing each and every one of you more goodness than you've ever experienced or imagined. And with that, I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow we're going to start on the report. So we're going to be talking about the state of Black business. So we're starting that report at 6 a.m. I'll put an announcement out here online so you all can check it out and go order the report. But got some powerful stuff to share with you. All right. Peace and blessings.